Hello, CTE Lab students. I would like to share with you this Show Me How video for the Module 2 Cornerstone project. And this will be for the file number 2. So the Show Me How video for file number 1 has been posted here. And let's work through file number 2 and the topics for that, or the tasks for that, together. All right, so Module 2, Cornerstone Activity. Many of these tasks and objectives that are aligned to the PowerPoint certification exam, my remote learners are not able to do this on a device that does not have Microsoft Office PowerPoint installed. Okay, so reusing slides from another presentation. I know we completed that in a Triad activity, and that works. Applying and removing bullets. You've been able to do that. But let's see, create a presentation from a Word document. No. Let's see, adding footers, I believe yes. Okay, so there's different things that you can do, some that you cannot do. Please know that as you work through file 1 with the other Show Me How video, and this, as you work through file 2 with this Show Me How video, if you are unable to complete it because you are a remote learner and you do not have a licensed version of Microsoft Office, please know that I also know that, and that I will grade your activity, your PowerPoint submissions accordingly. Okay, so file number 2, Cornerstone 2 Cookbook Starter Presentation. So we're going to import a Word outline. This is something my remote learners cannot do. So let's see. Let's open the Cornerstone. I had this one open from the last. I'm not gonna save it. So learning activity resources. For file number 2, the Cornerstone Cookbook Starter and the Cornerstone Cookbook document. All right, so we've got 2 files to open. The Cornerstone 2 Cookbook. I'm going to download that file, that Word document. For me, it automatically opens up, so let it open, and then I'll minimize it. And then we're doing the Cookbook Starter. Oops. There we go. Couldn't find it. All right. So the Cornerstone 2 Cookbook Starter. And we're going to create new slides from the outline by using the Word document. Now, if you remember from the Triad activity that we did, when we created new slides from an outline, that Word document must be closed. Here's what I expect to see the new slides to look like. Anything that is set as heading 1 in the document, remember those are going to show up in your PowerPoint as the title of the new slide. Okay, so carrot cake, that's set in heading 1. Anything in green, basically, in here. Butternut squash soup. Any of those items are listed as heading 1, so I expect that we will have new slides that come into the other presentation. Okay, and then remember, things that are set as heading 2, these will be the bullet points. If it is set as heading 3, and I doubt that we'll get anything set as heading 3. This is heading 2, so that's going to be a bullet point under carrot cake. Let's go on down. This rich and creamy comfort for the cool days ahead, that's the heading 2 item, so it's going to be a bullet point. All right, so enough of that. I'm going to go ahead and close it, and let's Let's watch what happens. New slide, slides from outline. Then you have to tell which document. It's the Cornerstone 2 Cookbook. I'm going to select that and click Insert. I'm going to let PowerPoint work its magic. Press Escape key to cancel this operation. I don't want to cancel the operation. And now all the slides are importing into the cookbook document. Now, why some are blank? I cannot answer that. But here's pumpkin pie. Here is carrot cake, the butternut squash soup, August harvest stew. All these, why the empty slides came in, I cannot answer. I really don't know. But maybe we'll have to do something, another task. All right, create new slides in Cornerstone 2 Cookbook Starter PowerPoint from the outline. Delete any blank slides. Okay, so we go, okay. So I don't know, they must have known that it would happen. Let's select all of the blank slides. And the way I'm doing that is I've selected one, I hold down Control on my keyboard, and I click any others that are blank. Okay, so again, holding down Control, and I'm going to select all the ones that are blank, and then I'm going to hit Delete on my keyboard. And now I only have 5 slides. They all have content on them. So that is task 1 for file number 2. A couple more tasks. Use paste, format columns, and resize. So copy the ingredients and cooking instructions for pumpkin pie and paste it into the pumpkin pie slide. All right, so we now know that we're going to have open the downloaded file, the cookbook. So I'm going to open it. I'm going to close this. And the instruction told me to copy the ingredients. Let's go back to it. Copy the ingredients and cooking instructions for pumpkin pie. So the ingredients, so I'm just going to put my cursor here. I'm going to select all of that. I'm going to click the copy up in the clipboard group. And then I'm going to go into the PowerPoint and find the pumpkin pie. And then I'm going to paste that information. Okay, that's what it tells me to do. Let's see what kind of formatting it tells us to do. Format the text into 2 columns and then resize the text box to fit better on the screen. Set the width to 9.44 inches and 3.94 inches high. Okay, 944 and 394. So I can go into format. The width is 944, and this was, oh goodness, 944 wide and 394 for height. And then I can drag this. Now, another thing that it had said to do was to format the content, the text, into 2 columns. It was in 2 columns in the Word document, but that formatting did not come over. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is select all of that, and then I want to go to the Home tab and the Paragraph group and go to where I'm adding or removing columns, and I'm going to put it into 2 columns. Okay, so now we formatted it into 2 columns, and then we've resized the text box to fit better on the screen, and then repositioned the text box to display better on the slide if necessary. So let's look. I think it looks great. It makes a lot of sense. So looks pretty good, doesn't it? All right. So now let's go to the next task. Resize the text box, then reposition. So we've done all that. Add headers and footers. Enter the text, Munson's Pickles and Preserves Farm Cookbook, into the slide footer, and don't let it appear on the first slide. We've done that in a Try It before. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put this into the footer. Okay, so I'm going to go on slide 2. I'm going to click the insert, click the header and footer. I'm going to say what the footer is. I'm going to turn that on. Paste, and I want to say don't show on the title slide, and I want to apply that. And then I'm looking at the title slide. It does not have a footer, but when I look at each of the slides, numbers 2, 3, 3, 4, 5 don't have it. And why is that? All right, so let's redo that. I hate it when it doesn't right. Okay, so when I did apply to all in the past, okay, so apply to all. Now it's on, instead of selecting apply, I should have clicked apply to all, and it is still not on the title slide. However, if it had put it on the title slide, you could just select it and then delete it. Okay, now, so we've got the cookbook sneak peek. We have a footer on each page. The pumpkin pie ingredients and recipe has been pasted into the pumpkin pie slide, and the footer is on the other slides of that document. I should say presentation. All right. So we've added head and footers. The last task is to link another presentation. Use the text cookbook on the first slide to link to the Cornerstone 2 harvest schedule PowerPoint. And then we're adding a screen tip. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do this. Cornerstone 2 harvest schedule. We haven't downloaded that yet, so let's go download the Cornerstone 2 because we're on the second file, right? The harvest schedule. What's this one? So we're going to download the harvest schedule. And we're going to link it to the text cookbook that's on the first slide. All right. And then also we're going to add a screen tip. Select link to review seasonal produce. All the way through the period. I'm going to copy that because I want to use that as my tool tip. Screen tip is what they're calling it. All right. So I go back to the first slide. Now this is where I'm going to link. I'm going to add a link. I'm going to link an existing file, and I'm going to browse for that file. I know that I downloaded it, and it is the harvest schedule. So I'm going to link this PowerPoint. I'm going to click OK, and then for my screen tip, I'm going to add the text that was in the instructions. Select link to review seasonal produce. So I've done all of that. It's the text that is being displayed is the word cookbook. When I click OK, then I notice on the first slide, the cookbook title now, the font color is changed to blue and it's underlined. And when I hover over it with my mouse, the screen tip that I typed in, select link to review seasonal produce. So if I see how this says Control plus click to follow link, I hold down Control on my keyboard, I click it, and then the harvest schedule presentation opens. And then anyone that has that PowerPoint presentation can look through and go, oh, okay, well, let's see. What month is it? This is the month of October. So in October, these are the harvest items that they may have available. Well, how about I saw pumpkins? Pumpkins make sense. We need pumpkins right now. A lot of root plants, okay? And who knew raspberries were available? All right. So I'm going to say that now you've completed all the tasks for the second file, and I hope all of this makes sense. Please message me with any questions you have, and if you are a remote user, much of these tasks are unable to be completed using the free online software using the free online office software. I am at a total loss to be able to help you through any of these tasks on the free online version. Because it will not, I know it won't let you link to another presentation. The headers and footers you can add. You can copy, you can do this one, copy the ingredients and cooking instructions for pumpkin pie, paste them into the pumpkin pie slide, format them into 2 columns, and resize that text box. You should be able to do that in the online version, but you cannot do this one, import Word outline, which means that the initial files won't come over. Okay, so what you need to do is look at the Word document, and you need to create at least one slide that has pumpkin pie as the title, and that has this text, the air, all the way through pumpkin pie. That has all of, it has all of this text listed as a bullet point, because you'll be adding information to the pumpkin pie slide. Okay, so remote learners, I hope you're hearing me. All right, you'll have the cookbook PowerPoint that you'll be able to open. The only I want you to be able to bring in this pumpkin pie slide. So that means that you'll have to, let's look at what layout this one is. The layout for this slide is a title and text slide. So you'll need to, remote learners, I tell you what, I'll do a file number 2 for remote learners. Okay, so that'll make sense to you guys. Thanks for listening. Have a great day, and I will shortly provide the video for file number 2 for remote learners. All right, have a good one.